Testing. 1, 2, 3. What is going on, everybody, and welcome to Mike Rock Uncensored, man. I hope you guys are having a good morning so far, and feel free to say good morning in the chat session. So I decided that a lot of my videos, instead of trying to create and edit videos and waste time, it's always been a lot easier for me to just stand in front of you guys or sit in front of you guys and shoot the shit and stuff, which is what the way that I'd like these streams to go, where we could talk about topics and stuff. You guys can respond in the comment section. And I do apologize in advance because unlike our gaming channel, I won't really be able to respond to all of the comments until it's time, simply because we got to get through the show. So anyways, I told people when I started doing Mike Rock Uncensored as opposed to the Mike Rock Show that I didn't want it to be all about politics and everything else. And it will, we're still going to have our conversations. One thing that I learned is that you may not always like the topics that I want to talk about, but instead of me trying to cater to every individual that doesn't like what I say, I just remind people that you are more than welcome to change the channel at the end of the day, and you can do that. But anyways, I was looking for some things to talk about, and there's a whole lot of stuff going on in the media right now. The thing with P. Diddy, and then the connections that they're making between them and like Epstein, and then of course you got the whole Gaza situation and people still, the war in Israel, the war with the Ukraine and Russia, all that stuff, just a lot of stuff. And I'm just like, every one of those subjects is like you could start off talking about it, but then it ends up going political, and um I didn't want to start off that way. And so I got into this thing, like one connection made another connection, made another connection. And it ended up leading me to the shock. It was a shock for me that Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens, who were both commentators or reporters for the Daily Wire, that they had been in this huge beef. And then they ended up firing Candace Owens. And I really, really like Candace Owens. And I'll explain why in a whole nother video. But I really, really like Candace Owens. And I want to support Candace Owens. And I wanted to see why she apparently got fired. From my understanding, first of all, she didn't get fired. That was misreported, that it was a mutual parting. They both decided to go their own separate ways. I don't know the truth behind that. I'm hearing two different sides of the story, and I'm just saying that she didn't necessarily get fired. But anyways, I started digging into why, because I don't trust the media. I want to get both sides of the story and go see where this leads and everything else. But what I ended up finding out it was a difference of opinion, and a huge difference of opinion. And Ben Shapiro is very, he's a huge supporter of the Jewish community, and they take every last thing you say about them. With a lot of these personal agendas nowadays, they take everything you say about them. So they get really super sensitive if you talk about my culture, talk about my race, talk about my religion, and to the point of being offended. And to me, I believe a lot of these political agendas out there are straight mafia material. I mean, it is what it is. It's like they weaponize victimhood in order to keep you from looking into what they're doing now. They use their past, the things that they've been through in the past, to justify why it's okay for them to be dirty and evil here in the now. And again, those are things that we'll talk about later on. But anyways, I'm going through the Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens situation, and I start looking more into Candace Owens because I'm like, dude, this is my girl, man. I really, dude, like she is an inspiration to telling the truth when you speak live on social media and places like here on YouTube. So I really started digging into like I wanted to see why all of these people were hating on Candace Owens so much. And the more I dug into it, the more I realized that they're hating on this woman because she is exposing game. She's exposing the truth, point blank and simple. And then I came across this docu-series, and it wasn't I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but in Netflix, there's this docu-series called Making of a Murderer, and it has to do with this individual named Steve Avery who was wrongfully convicted of rape and spent 18 years in prison before technology caught up to his situation and was able to prove through DNA that he was not the person who raped the individual in question, and they ended up releasing him, and of course he ended up suing the county, I believe it was, and but I remember watching it, and I didn't make too much of it. It just, because I wasn't in the situation, I was just like, "Well, that's fucked up that they did that to him." And I remember that show, that movie, literally biased my outlook or my perspective on what happened to that man. I felt sorry for that man because not only was he wrongfully convicted and spent 18 years in prison, which set that up, by the way, but he also was then within 2 years charged with a murder that he didn't do, according to the Netflix docuseries. And a lot of people believe that Netflix docuseries that docuseries is what kind of propelled Netflix into who they are today. I don't know if I believe that, but after looking at all of the statistical data and everything else, I can see that it did help Netflix's situation in some degree at that point. But anyways, going back to this, I was biased like everybody else. I wasn't making calling and making death threats to the cops and stuff that docuseries seemed to bias, but I felt bad for the individual that was now in prison. And I just forgot about it. This was years ago, and I remember watching it because I was reminded of it, but I left it alone. It was a good series. And then we fast forward to looking into Candace Owens. Excuse me, and I see this other docuseries. It's called Convicting a Murderer, and I'm sitting here like, I don't I don't remember that show I watched being called Convicting a Murderer. I thought it was something else, and come to find out it was a new docuseries. And the docuseries was about Steve Avery, but the docuseries that was created or directed or composed, whatever you want to call it, by Candace Owens, it wasn't it was also created to contradict, to basically expose game about the lies that were told in the Netflix docuseries of Making a Murderer. And it's crazy because if you just look at the headlines, and this, just like I said, this supports my narrative where I'm trying to show you guys that there are a lot of reasons why we need to start trusting in each other more and not in the government or the media. They're constantly lying to us, and now we're out here searching. People like me are out here searching for ways to expose game and to show you guys, because I know you guys want evidence. So we're trying to show you guys through every example that we can why it is not okay to just take information from the media and the government. So, anyways, that's what Candace Owens does, and I think that's part of the reason why I love her so much is that she created an entire 10-part docu-series that you can find on Daily Wire. I'll probably leave the link in the comment section to contradict almost everything, the entire narrative of how that story was told on Netflix. And it's just crazy because, again, look at the headlines. Everybody's saying Candace Owens is crazy, and she is, I wouldn't say racist, but she hates Jews and she hates all of these other people, not because she does, but because she's exposing gay. And I don't want to go into that particular side that has been known for exposing that kind of game. I do believe it happens on both sides, but it's not as bad as one side compared to the other. So I'm looking at all these headlines and I'm like, I gotta watch this docuseries. I binge watched the entire thing yesterday, and I'm going to tell you, I know why the headlines are out there saying that Candace Owens is a conspiracy nut, or she's a liar, or it's not because she is. You guys they don't want you guys watching that docu-series to see just how much game she is exposing. And I believe that if you watch that docu-series, it'll open up a lot of our eyes to the truths that Candace Owens is telling and make you want to watch more of her stuff, not less. So it isn't about, hey, she's a liar, because she isn't. It's about, hey, we need to find a way to keep people from watching the information that Candace Owens is putting out. And that, to me, will never happen, at least for me and the people who follow this stream. So anyways, docuseries. I got to stay on point. I, I can't go into the entire thing because it's 10 parts. But some of the things that are just without the shadow of a doubt noticeable between the two is that the docuseries on Netflix was very biased. The docuseries put out by Candace Owens was her way of just, all she was doing was putting out the truth. She's like, they said this, but they omitted this, or they twisted this, or they took a piece from a video or from a portion of the trial, and they literally, knowingly, intentionally put it somewhere else. So if you can imagine you asking me, hey, Mike, are you gay? And I'm like, no. Do you like women? Yes. And then when you edit that, you just switch it. I'm just making this simple. You switch it around. And now when you look at the same video the interview that I had, Mike Rock, are you gay? You took the yes and put it over here. Yes. Do you like women? And then you took the no and you put it, and you just interchange things. That's a lie. And they're not going to refute that. But what these directors, these two women, are trying to say is that we had limited time to put this together, so we did the best we could with what we had. And that's part of the reason why I love Candace Owens is she took the same amount of time to explain the same story, but to show them why what you did was not okay. And there is a lot. I mean, you guys want to know just how bad that docuseries is now? They omitted the bullet, the main piece of evidence in that trial. They kept that out of the docuseries, and they said something about a flat, unrecognizable, unidentifiable bullet that was found, but that's not the truth. It wasn't a flat bullet. They changed the story. There was an actual bullet that was identifiable that had DNA from the lady Teresa, I believe her name was, that passed, the victim, was on this bullet, and it lined up with the story that the nephew told, who was there at the scene of the crime. That's just one particular instance, dude. It was such an eye opener, not just for what happened in that docuseries, but also for I'm using it as an example to show you guys who don't believe that the media, that the news that we watch is a bunch of lies. That's the reason why I subscribe to, and I'm a huge supporter of Elon Musk's X. The left doesn't want you to, yes, I said it. I said it. I said the left. I'm sorry. I said the left. But the left doesn't want you to watch um, or sign up and do things like join X and everything else. It's not because they're right leaning individuals. Yeah, there's a lot of right leaning individuals over there, but they're over there because that's where the truth gets told. There's a lot of lies being fed to us as a people, and dude, that's important. Why would you not want the truth? Why would you want to hate on people telling the truth? So that's information for another time and another video. But I'm telling you guys, you guys want to binge watch something, go and binge watch The Truth. These women, these directors got Emmys. I think it was 2 Emmys for this docuseries, this lie that they put out on Netflix, and now the media is just trying to let it go, to bury it. It's about the information that I ended up gathering was about 6 months old, but I didn't know anything about this because I had taken a break from the Mike Rock show, and then I jumped back in. I'm looking for information, and I wish I would have still been involved with creating these videos because dude, that's this kind of stuff is fascinating to me to see lies, and I wouldn't care if the what side the lies are being told on. Lies are lies, and if I find lies being told on the other side, again, a lot of people don't realize this about Candace Owens. If she finds out that there's a lie, whether it's from the Democrats, the Republicans, from the gay, the straight, it doesn't matter to her. She is a proponent of the truth. Does she always get it right? I don't know, because everything I've watched of hers has been the truth. I just know that a lot of times we want to nitpick, and it's become a game where we nitpick information from someone who's telling the truth because we want people to not pay attention to the truth. We want people to pay attention to our truth so that we can push our agendas and our narratives on the public, and have them make decisions because of the information that we share. So it's a double-sided sword. It's like, not only do we share information, but we also have to prevent the truth, the real truth, from coming out. And that's what's going on. And that's, like I said, I love people like Candace Owens, and believe it or not, Cat Williams, Candace Owens, Cat Williams, because a lot of us have listened to what the media had to say, and we canceled individuals who were telling the truth. And now the truth is coming out because it can't be hidden anymore. And a lot of us, what they call truthers, are not, I'm saying us, I'm just trying to include us as a people. I wasn't one of those people. But these truthers they can't admit that they were wrong. So they're trying to come up with other information to discredit the person who put the truth out there. Listen, you can discredit that person all you want to, but what we need to do as a people is ask ourselves, regardless of how bad that person was, regardless of what you think they told the truth about or lied about or whatever the case may be, was the information true? Anyways, man, binge watch this. Go and watch Making of a Murderer first. Get pumped up about this guy being wrongfully convicted. See what side you're on after you watch that docu-series. And then go back and watch the other one. It's on the Daily Wire. You're probably going to have to pay a month subscription if you guys are that interested in it. I'm not saying that I got any kind of pull, because I don't, but maybe we can reach out and see if we can't do if I buy the video or buy the series, if we can't do a small group where we can watch it together over the course of maybe a week or 2 weeks and stuff, because it's a 10-episode docu-series, and I think it's 45 minutes each episode. So I was so fascinated. I watched the entire thing yesterday, and like I said, that thing's amazing. You guys, don't listen to what everybody's saying, dude. Pay more attention to the people that are being canceled in the media, and then ask yourself, why are they being canceled in the media? Candace Owens is exposing game, bro. She is, and they want you to think that she hates her own people. She hates black people. No, she doesn't. She wants better for black people, because they've been spoon-fed these handouts which aren't doing anything for them, and they've been bred. And I'm using that word very lightly, but no, actually I'm not. I'm being very strong with this word. They are being bred. We have been bred and raised, and I'm part black in case you didn't know, but we have been bred and raised to believe that we need help, that we're victims, that someone else needs to come to our rescue. And she's trying to teach people, among other members of the black community, they're trying to actually reach out and teach people that nobody's coming to our rescue. It's it's detrimental to other people. That's all I'll say. For us to come out and rescue ourselves. We need to be those strong leaders. We need to give back to our own communities. We need to be more into education than a lot of these trash videos and music and everything else that's coming out that is encouraging us to continue to live in the poverty-stricken neighborhoods and cultures that we've been a part of for so long. There's nothing wrong with who we are. It's where we're going. And we need to start creating our own generational wealth. We need to be strong. We need to stop depending on other people, including our own government, to make those changes. That's who Candace Owens is. She's someone who actually wants people to realize that nobody's coming to our rescue but us. We need to make that happen, man. So, anyways, man, check out Candace Owens. Binge watch Making of a Murderer first on Netflix. If you have Netflix, that will be free. And then once you watch that, and once you're biased about what's going on, go and watch the other docuseries. It's called Convicting a Murderer, which is the same story told with more information. I'm just go watch it, man. You guys have a great rest of your day, man. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.